gonna shoot you.
Yeah. Jumpin', them boys up to something. They just spent like 2 or 3 weeks out the country.
History has been made, guys. Yes, history has been made, and is not with the UFC. History was made on the second week of September, and it is monumental. It is obviously one of the biggest moves in all of mixed martial arts, and it was with Bellator. It was not with the UFC. I know when I usually do these videos, I usually talk about the UFC and things that go on within the UFC promotion itself, but this time I'm going to be talking about Bellator and the major moves that they have made. Yes, Bellator will be going to France. Bellator will be the first major MMA promotion to hold a live fight card in the country of France. France decided that they wanted to legalize MMA on January 1st of 2020 this year. They have done that. Obviously, plans got derailed because of COVID-19, the whole entire pandemic. Everybody thought that the UFC was going to be the first promotion to hold a live event in France, but things got scratched. Now, UFC is holding all their international fights in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island, UAE. But now, Bellator has come out of nowhere. They're going to be holding this live event, and they will be holding this event with a live audience. Yes, people will be able to come in and see the fight. The fight will be going on in Paris. Paris is the largest city in France. Paris is also the capital of France and one of the major cities in Europe as a whole. Now, this will be going on in the Accor Arena. The Accor Arena has a capacity of 20,000 seats, but only 5,000 fans will be allowed in. So basically, 25% of the arena will be full. And the main fight on that whole entire card is going to be Czech Congo versus Tim Means 2. This is going to be a rematch. Both fighters fought each other a couple years back. Czech Congo won that fight, so it's going to be a rematch. It makes a lot of sense to do this with Czech Congo because he is a French native. He was born in Paris itself, so it's going to be a homecoming, and he's definitely going to be the hometown favorite to win his fight. The co-main event is going to be Michael Venom Page, MVP. We all know him as the flashy and the very confident and the very arrogant fighter that he is from England. He's going to be facing Ross Houston from Scotland. He is an undefeated fighter. MVP is 17-1 in his career. The only fighter that he's lost against was against Douglas Lima during that welterweight Grand Prix tournament that Bellator held. Obviously, but Douglas Lima went on to win that whole entire tournament to regain his title. And Ross Houston has not had a fight with Bellator yet. He will be making his Bellator MMA debut. He is 8-0, so he's an undefeated fighter. It's definitely going to be an interesting co-main event. There will be 13 fights in all in this main card, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what really happens, how Bellator proceeds with this event, and how things are going to be run. So this is going to have a live audience. The last time I saw an actual combat sports event with a live audience was Bare Knuckle FC. They held an event in Mississippi. They had a live audience, and it didn't really look like there was any social distancing that was going on. It didn't really look like a lot of people had any masks going on as well during that event. And if we all know Bare Knuckle FC, they're not really the most professional organization that there is when it comes to combat sports, so I wasn't really surprised. So I believe that Bellator is definitely going to make some huge strides with this event in France, obviously having a live audience, but there definitely will be some social distancing going on because Scott Coker is a very smart man. He knows what he's doing, and he wants this event to be perfect, and it definitely will be. And to tell you guys the truth, this event will not be going on Paramount Network anymore. Bellator MMA and Paramount have split. Now Bellator MMA will be having their events on CBS Sports. Yes, Viacom and CBS have merged again. Both companies used to be together back in the early 2000s, but they decided to split. Many years later, they are merging once again. And since Bellator is with Viacom, Bellator will also be joining the CBS family, so they will be streaming their events on CBS Sports. Now, I know a lot of people have a problem with that because Bellator will be having their events on there, but not everybody has CBS Sports with their cable programmers. So it's definitely going to be hard for a lot of people to actually stream the Bellator events. I know the prelims will be streaming live on Bellator.com as well as the YouTube app and the YouTube website. So if you guys want to watch the prelims, you can definitely watch it on those two platforms. But I don't know about the main card. That's something that I need to get more information on, to be honest. But overall, this is a very huge thing. This is very monumental. History is being made. The first MMA event that will be held in France in the history of the whole entire country itself. And this is Bellator that's doing it. It's not the UFC. The UFC is basically lost out on that. When will the UFC have an actual live event in France? It will most likely be in 2021. Dana White has stated multiple times that all the international events will be held on Fight Island. They will be coming back to the U.S. in November, so they will not be going back to Fight Island after they come back from their second stint, which is going on right now as we speak. So they're most likely going to be going there in 2021. But Bellator, they're making some huge strides. Like I said, they're finally going to be on the sports network. When the company first started out, they were on MTV2, MTV2, and then after that, they transitioned from MTV2 to Spike TV. Obviously, the funny thing about that is that UFC was actually with Spike TV, but then UFC got that deal with Fox, and then after Fox, they got that deal with ESPN, the leader of sports. So obviously, once they left Spike, Bellator decided to hop on an opportunity as fast as possible. Spike eventually turned into Paramount, obviously taking Bellator along with it, but Bellator wanted to make some huge strides. They wanted to make some monumental moves, which they obviously have, in order to increase their platform, get more notoriety. They want to be more successful, and they definitely want to get on the heels of the UFC. Are they better than the UFC because they've made these moves? Obviously not. UFC are years upon years ahead of every single other MMA promotion out there in the world. They've got the UFC PI, which has all of the latest technology and state-of-the-art equipment in there when it comes to working out, losing weight, eating healthy, getting some of the best physical therapists out there to help, rehab injuries and everything like that. They've had the little 2 mini pools, which is kind of like a sauna, and then the ice bath, and they've got the little another tiny pool you can get in there and run while you're in the water. It helps you with your cardio, but it doesn't really help out that much. Conor McGregor used it, Francis Ngannou used it, but obviously didn't help those two fighters in their championship fights. So obviously that the UFC PI has a lot. Then the UFC also has the Apex. Then they got to deal with Abu Dhabi, Yas Island. So obviously the UFC is probably 10 plus years ahead of everybody else. Obviously, don't think that Bellator is going to be catching up anytime soon, unless they want to do some of these things that the UFC is doing. Obviously, if they want to have their own performance institute, they could call it the Bellator Wellness Center or the Bellator Athletic Complex or something like that. Anything that Bellator can be able to do, but still, I don't really think that Bellator is going to be pulling off any of these moves anytime soon. I don't think they can have their own Apex, their own performance institute, so it's definitely going to be difficult for them to even catch up with the UFC anytime soon. It all depends on what Scott Coker wants to do. It all depends on how Bellator MMA grows as an organization, but these two moves that they're going to be making is monumental, and the co-main and the main event itself are going to be two great fights. Czech Congo, like I said, he's 30-10-1 facing a fighter that's 14-6. He has a lot more experience. He hasn't lost since 2015, so that's extremely huge. His last fight was for the title against Ryan Bader. That was turned into a no contest because of an eye poke. So there's definitely a lot of things going on in Bellator MMA. I'm very happy for them, and I'm very happy that they're finally getting on a sports network. They've been fighting extremely hard in order to do something like this. And obviously, will they be on ESPN in the future? Will they be on Fox? I wouldn't be surprised if they be on Fox, but Scott Coker has said multiple times that they do not want to leave the tutelage of Viacom. They've been with Viacom since the start. They don't want to leave them, so they'll most likely be on CBS Sports for a very, very long time. I don't see them being on Fox or ESPN. Obviously, Fox has PBC, which is boxing. They also have the WWE. Then you've got ESPN, who has UFC, Top Rank Boxing, and the PFL, the Professional Fighters League. So all these sports networks are definitely they're filled with a lot of combat sports action, and CBS Sports is definitely the network that was really lacking in it. So Bellator decided they want to jump on that opportunity, and here they are. Now Bellator is doing a lot of great things. They're also on Pluto Sports. They're also on Pluto TV, which is a free app that you can utilize on your phone. It's also free to utilize if you have a Roku, and you can watch a lot of free reruns of past Bellator cards on there. The only thing that's really annoying about it is that a lot of them are reruns, so they usually just play a lot of the same fights over and over and over again. But sometimes they do put on fights from 2019 and from 2020 as well in 2018. So once again, this is monumental. I just wanted to let you guys know about it. Bellator MMA will be the first mixed martial arts major organization to be putting on shows in Paris, France. Now, after Bellator MMA does have their event, there are other mixed martial arts promotions, especially in Europe, that will be having events right after Bellator in France. So France is definitely jumping on this opportunity with Bellator and making sure that they keep on pumping out these fights even after Bellator has their events and they're gone. There are other organizations out there that do plan on having multiple events in France. So this is a good thing, not only for Bellator, not only for MMA, but for France as a whole. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll continue to keep on pumping out videos.